But I have to get back to the main subject of this video. I have to agree with everything you said in your two-part series about me, about my misuse of optics. I have in turn learned so much about your incredible in-depth research on the subject. I was taken back and blown away and humbled by the experiments after the dust settled. I'm like, wow.
Look, Donny, I'm glad you learned something. Clearly you have, judging by your newer videos, but after what you said in the previous part about how you spread internet rumors you heard just because they happened to come to mind and you didn't feel like writing a script and they resonated with people, I think you've badly missed the point. Telescopes are just one small unimportant subject. They're not the point. If you become the best astrophotographer in the universe, it's not going to make your content any better. My videos were about the importance of real truth-seeking, careful analysis, taking the time to understand, putting in the effort to be accurate. In other words, trying not to mislead people just because it resonates with them. And yet you stand there excusing away your apparently knowing spreading of rumors made up by people on the internet on the basis that publishing every day is more important than publishing well-founded, truthful content. I think it's great that you've made so much progress in filming planets, but I wish you'd learned something more important.
My voice of a 17,000 subscriber has caught notice of this guy that seems to really put an emphasis on much bigger channels, and I was just humbled by the experience after the initial bitterness went away. And I just want to say that, you know, up until this point now, I am going to take everything I learned from you and the experience and try to be the most transparent YouTube creator I can be so I can get my views back, get my subscribers back.
Don't conflate correlation with causation, man. There's no reason to believe your decline in views or subs has much to do with me just because my videos and that decline happened around kind of a similar time, man. I really doubt our audiences have much overlap, and what overlap there is mostly your people coming to dislike my video and leave a whiny comment. Looking at your Social Blade stats, it looks like you had absolutely improbably massive daily views through February, but they started declining through March. By mid-March, they'd fallen to roughly the levels you're seeing now. You can see the same thing on the average views and monthly views, where March has considerably weaker numbers than the previous 2 months. And if you recall, my first video didn't premiere until April 2nd, so this trend started well before I even said a word. So not only are you fallaciously assuming causation based on correlation, but you're doing it based on a correlation that doesn't even exist in the first place. I get it, alright? Maybe it feels satisfying to find someone to blame, but reality disagrees with you. You're just trying to make me your scapegoat. The fact is, Donny, you only had 2 months of really high numbers for your channel. In December, your numbers were a lot more like what you're seeing currently. Now, you've deleted some videos recently, so your view numbers for this month look a lot lower than they actually are, but if we take out the negatives and add in the same numbers as the days before them, we find that your channel's getting something like 140,000 views a month. The fact that you're complaining about getting those kind of incredible numbers on a channel with 17,000 subs is just laughable. Now, based on the numbers, Donny, I would say it's not that you're in a period of unusually low views or growth right now, it's that you had a period of unusually high views and growth, and it's just starting to settle down. Especially because right now we're moving into the summer where people are going to be watching YouTube a little less often, and also because YouTube has been trying to recommend conspiracy theory content a lot less, which I think is a bad idea for the record, but still, that is the goal they stated a few months ago. That's gonna hit your channel. And now that you've renamed your channel from Donny of Daytona, which is kinda catchy, easy to remember, easy to recognize when you see it, to Dodds H3D TV, which is just a random jumble of letters, you're definitely gonna see a larger decline from now on. That was a terrible decision. Anyway, here's a piece of advice I've put myself through a lot of stress to learn the hard way, Donny. Don't expect your channel to keep blowing up month after month after month. Growth on YouTube is not consistent. You have to keep it in perspective. You have a channel with 17,000 subscribers. You cannot expect to keep getting 500,000 views every month forever. It's just not gonna happen unless you get really lucky. For reference, I've been doing this for 7.5 years, and it's been my sole source of income for 2 of those. And in the entire history of my channel, there have been 4 months that cracked 500,000 views. And when they went back down again, it wasn't because someone made a video debunking something I said. This stuff is a lot more complicated than that. Now believe me, I know exactly how it feels to lose the kind of growth and views and stuff that you had at some point in the past. Over my very long time on YouTube, I've seen periods of 1 amazing growth, at least by my standards, and periods of almost no growth. I've seen periods of really high views by my standards and really low views. And it can be really frustrating, I know. I've spent way too much of my time feeling very frustrated by it, especially because I rely on it to support my family. And when I fail to see the sort of success that I hope for, that can make me feel really inadequate as a provider sometimes. But the fact is, these ups and downs happen, and unfortunately, it's something that you need to learn to accept if you want to keep any kind of sanity. I've done a pretty bad job keeping this stuff in perspective in the past, and that's never had a positive outcome for me. Just learn the lesson the easy way. Don't be like me.
And do something I'm proud of and not something I'm questioning even in my own mind.
Are you saying you were questioning the amoebas? Yeah, I don't know what you mean by this, so I'm just going to move on.
And I have to say, I had to do a lot of soul searching and rethinking about who I am on this platform, and it's all a direct result because of your videos. And I know I might lose subscribers over this, but I'm actually bowing down to your infinite or your finite research abilities. And they're just amazing.
Dude, come on. Take the flattery down a few notches, would you?
And you taught me so much, and I know that's making me sound like, excuse my language, a pussy, but I'm far from that.
What, accepting that you learned something? No. It's not making you sound like a pussy, but I do have to say, the flattery is really, really excessive. You got it all the way up to 11. Would you dial it down to like a 7?
I'm just a man, and a man can admit his faults. A real true man.
I agree 100%. Changing your mind is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength, and I think more of you for it. Now, I've had a few negative things to say in this video about some of the new stuff you've said, but I do think it's admirable that you've managed to change your mind on some stuff and had the balls to say so publicly even, which most people don't. So again, credit where it's due.
And that's all I've ever wanted to be. A dork with a camera.
Worthy enough aspiration, I guess.
So I know the heading behind my channel used to say, trying to reveal the truth in the sky. Lately it said Donny of Daytona, finding the breadcrumbs of divine creation. Now it's going to say Donny of Daytona, conjecture and opinions from behind the camera.
Oh wow, I thought that was a joke. Yeah, again, maybe a little bit overboard. I think there's got to be a happy medium here somewhere. Actually, you know what? Forget happy mediums. What if you kept it as trying to reveal the truth in the sky, but just be a little more rigorous with your methodology? I mean, whatever, it's obviously up to you, but it'd work.
Because that's all it is. I'm never claiming to be a news channel. I'm just claiming to film the sky more than anyone else I know and finding anomalies that don't make sense to me. Of course, I'm going to give my opinion, but I'm going to make sure I solidify the fact that it's just my opinion, in no way, shape, or form the truth.
Yeah, but what if instead, before you present your opinion to the public, you just test it? Find out if it's actually true, and then if it is, just believe it's true. Why would you want to hold an opinion that's in no way, shape, or form the truth when the cause of most of this stuff is so easily testable and you could easily figure out the truth? There's nothing wrong with accepting your opinions as fact. It's not about whether you do that or not. It's about the quality of the reasoning that led you to your position. And in this case, it's really not that complicated to establish a quality line of reasoning. You're not talking about particle physics or something where it's super complicated and requires a whole bunch of education and big expensive purpose-built machines to test. It's photography. It's a pretty well understood field, and you can verify pretty much every aspect of it with the equipment you already own, or did own until you gave it all away. I'd be happy to help you figure out ways to test stuff if you aren't sure how to go about it. Yet again, I'm both pleasantly surprised by this video and a little bit disheartened. Your response when you realize there really is an issue with your methodology seems to be just to give up and slap a big "this is my opinion" sticker on all your untested ideas, instead of just taking literally a few extra minutes to verify them against reality. That makes this video kind of weird for me. I'm happy to see you're willing to change your mind, but I feel like you've taken it as more of a defeat than an opportunity. And it seems like the main point I was driving at about skepticism and intellectual rigor has really been missed. And you shouldn't take that as some kind of condemnation. I think you're trying to do the right thing here, and mostly you are, I guess. It's just I think you're coming at this with a really different mindset from mine that's been developed by your experiences. And switching to a more scientific, skeptical mindset is a much bigger and harder change to make. So actually, you know what? Screw it. I had it right before. Baby steps. I think it's cool that you changed your mind about the stuff you changed it about, and it's a hell of a lot more than I was expecting, so I'm satisfied.
And that's what I've learned from you. And so I have to say, from this point on, if you're going to do a part 3, it has to be on something I've shot from this point on, because I agree with everything you've said in the first 2 videos about my misuse of optics and anything you can say about the videos I shot before this point.
No, I'll make a video on whatever I feel like, Donnie. There's an awful lot more in your earlier videos than just out-of-focus stars. A massive heap of stuff I haven't addressed at all and you haven't agreed on. Just because you change your mind on one thing doesn't mean you changed your mind on all of it. And even if it did, the fact is, if there's a publicly available video full of absolutely awful arguments, it might not necessarily be that relevant to debunk anymore, but there's nothing that says you can't or shouldn't. I mean, at least if you do, there's some accurate information available to counteract the misinformation. That's a good thing. And by the way, part 3's been done for weeks already, so this discussion's kinda pointless. The only reason I haven't published it is because it's on a totally different subject that I can take my time getting to, and I wanted to finish these responses first. In case you're curious, the subject is those birds crossing the moon that you filmed that you insisted couldn't be birds for some reason. I haven't heard you issue a word of correction on that, so why would I assume you suddenly disagree with your past self about it?
Because I'm coming correct now. So everything else, I can't say that I can solidify with validity or validate in any way. I'm saying that from this point forward, I'm gonna do it with a different frame of mind from everything I've learned from this experience, and it's thanks to you. So if you make a third part, out of respect for humanity and being a respectful human being, it would have to be on critiquing something I've shot from this point forward, or have me on a live stream where I'll actually thank you in public for helping me turn the corner and becoming a better YouTube creator for future endeavors.
I don't quite understand why you're this desperate to avoid part 3. Like, I can understand being a little peeved about it, but your eyes are bugging out of your head. If you're not careful, they'll pop out of their sockets and dangle against your cheeks. It's not that big of a deal, calm down. But anyway, as I said, part 3 is already done, and it's not about anything we've talked about so far, not even related. But I'm happy to have a live stream with you on the condition that you cut out this uncomfortably profuse flattery. I'm sorry, I just can't take this kind of thing. I'm not built for it. We can just have an easygoing talk, okay?
Because that, my friend, is what I've got from this experience, and I actually thank you for doing that for me. And I'm being humble and honest about this. I really do thank you. So that's why I recently had the giveaway of telescopes that I wasn't efficient at using, so I gave them away. And, you know, it was money out of my pocket, and I've lost a lot of advertising dollars because of this experience. Now, if someone types in my name on a YouTube search, it automatically comes up with your videos because they're higher viewed than my videos.
Again, I'm really not sure that's true, Donnie. After all, if someone's explicitly typing in your channel's name, then most likely they're looking for your channel. And if you tried it yourself, you'd see that the first things that actually come up in a neutral search where you're not logged in are your channel link, then your latest videos, then a whopping 3 of my videos, and then after that it's pretty much all you, with a couple of your friends sprinkled in. That doesn't seem like a very significant change. It's not like many of the results are me. And on my end, I haven't seen any significant uptick in ad revenue or views that would need to be explained by your audience finding their way to me by accident. And if they did, they'd probably figure it out pretty fast, don't you think? As for your decreased ad revenue, for one thing, it's that trend of decreasing views that you were already seeing before I even put my first video out, and the fact that we're well past the annual AdSense peak, so you're likely seeing less money thanks to that, just like everybody else. But even so, on the off chance that some unintended consequence of my videos did reduce your ad revenue a bit, that's only going to last a short period of time. You've got plenty of videos that get similar or greater view counts than mine, and the search algorithm isn't all about views anyway, so don't worry about it.
So I've lost the allure, I've lost a lot of views, I've lost advertising dollars, and I just want to bow down to your wisdom.
Donnie, it's starting to sound like you're just backing down because you think it's starting to cost you money. But I'm going to interpret it charitably and assume you're more principled than that. But have you ever heard the word smarmy? There's a reason I keep bringing up the fact that your flattery is so overdone, and it's because it makes that word seem more and more applicable. Especially when you bring in language like, I bow down to your wisdom. It doesn't help anything, it just comes off as weirdly excessive to the point of seeming potentially insincere, like you want something from me. Which I guess you do, you want me to stop making response videos and to only reply to the stuff you do from this point forward. And in doing so, to stop this supposed suppression of your ad revenue and views. Again, just to be as charitable as I can, I have to assume that's not what you're doing, but it is hard to ignore the optics. No pun intended.
And say I apologize to you, to people watching my videos, that I used blurred images to fill a narrative. I didn't mean to be deceitful. I was just ignorant to the fact that I was misusing the refractive telescopes.
That's fine, I accept that, but the claims in your videos can still be worth discussing regardless. People still watch them, and some of them believe what you say in them.
And I no longer will be using them. I've moved into two of the best consumer cameras on the market, the Canon PowerShot and the Nikon P900. I just recently got them. I've been using them now, experimenting with them, and everything I do from this point on, from this experience, I will be fully transparent. I will tell exactly why I've got the image and why I believe it to be this way, and none of it will be sensational, and everything is just conjecture coming from me. So that way I can say, if you do make a third part, because obviously people seem to, even on the negative light, people seem to like your videos that you make about me. I haven't noticed you making more than one part about anybody else.
Yeah, that's true. Except for Emmanuel Matos, Theophilus McPherson, John Pendleton, Carl Baugh, Seventh Powerable, There Is No Clash, Wimp from Belgium, Random Quran Science Guy, Missing the Mark in Deflating Atheism, Johan Oldenkamp, Yusuf Estes, Kent Hovind, Andre Dormand, PZ Myers, Paris Tosin, Stan to Reason, Abu Baker Siddiq, some random dude insulting my wife, Armored Skeptic, Inspired Walk, Robert Light, Fidel Solomon, and that random Muslim convert guy. But other than that, you're right.
So obviously it's good, it's a good turnover for you. So obviously you may even make a third part and a fourth part. But all I can ask you, as a decent human being, you have no firepower to make a third part if you make something that I shot before this point, because I'm agreeing with anything that you could possibly say.
Oh really? Are these birds? Donny, you've made more than one kind of claim on your channel in the past. I know I'm repeating myself here, but so are you. Accepting that you're wrong about one thing you've said in the past does not mean that you accept you're wrong about anything else you've said in the past, Donny. Otherwise, my acceptance that I pronounced hyracotherium wrong through a whole video would mean I no longer think creationism's wrong.
I was misusing optics to fill a narrative, unknowingly being deceitful, but I was not trying to be. And my sensational claims are exactly that, about our blood being, enriched in iron, and elite's blood being enriched in copper, because their blood's blue and our blood's red. And all these are sensational claims. They're conversations I've actually had with human beings at some point in my life, past, present, future.
I've had conversations like that too, and I don't think the topics of those conversations were true. That's why either I don't talk about them, or I talk about the fact that they exist without calling them true, or I debunk them. I don't spread them around as if they're facts. What kind of a pathetic excuse would it be if I did that and then said, but I had a conversation about it before? That's not an excuse, it's a complete non sequitur. It's not just a bad defense, it's not a defense at all. It doesn't address the point in any way.
And it's just a non-scripted vlog of me reciting that stuff back.
I know, you said so already. It's an unscripted vlog of you reciting bullshit you heard back into the camera. Which apparently, going by how you said this, you also think is bullshit. How in the world does that excuse it, Donny? Do you think it's better to spread total nonsense just because you're lazy and don't care about the truth than because you're sincerely misled? I know I don't.
So I'm never ever claiming to be a truther, a flat earther, none of that. None of it.
That's why most of us truthers show you sunrise and sunset. And we definitely live on an infinite flat plane, because how else could this happen? Infinite, yes. Flat, yes. But is it 20,000 miles around? No, because it's not a globe.
Because I am a true flat earther, because I'm arguing with people on my channel all the time about flat earth. I was like, damn it, bitch, I am a flat earther. How the fuck do you think I woke up?
I found all those clips in 10 minutes looking through your videos. And I mean literally 10 minutes. Do I have to find more, or does that make the point? I think it makes it well enough, because it doesn't really matter what you call yourself. It's not like some label or a lack thereof makes your assertions any less idiotic. Anyway, we're repeating ourselves too much. Let me just skim through the transcript for anything else useful. Transparency, create my own music, bowing down to your awesome research. If you do make the third part, let's do it live, my friend. Let's do a live stream. Well, I've emailed you about a live stream, but I haven't heard back as of recording this. I don't know if emailing you is the best way to reach you or what. You don't exactly make yourself easily available. Guess we'll see. Humbled, thankful, in awe. Seriously, I'm not kidding. The flattery's getting really old, I gotta say. I should be thanking you and not being bitter toward you. Let's make it more positive after this point. Yeah, I totally agree, Donny, but by the time I got to this relatively positive point, you'd already decided to delete this video and put up some live stream complaining about me again, so I'm trying, man. I really am, but you're not making it really easy for me, are you? How about you just calm down, stop responding so I can stop responding, and then we can have a pleasant chat in the live stream or whatever you want. I'm open to that. But when you put out so many responses and you have like 3 public changes of heart before I even had the chance to respond to the first one, it doesn't exactly help the discussion, you know? Like, I'm scrambling to keep up and release these videos, and meanwhile you're like responding to part 1s of stuff without even hearing my entire response to you first. It's really frustrating.
Take care, and we'll see you around the platform.
Well, the next thing I've got to do is address your apology video for the false flag campaign you started, which you've also already deleted, so I guess we'll be seeing each other sooner rather than later. It's so exhausting keeping up with this stuff, even if I do actually find your responses kind of interesting. You're a unique character, Donny, I can at least say that. But if you just slow down a little tiny bit, I can catch up and we can be done with it. Please? I genuinely do not want to keep responding to you like all year, okay? I got other stuff I want to do, but every time you respond to me, there's something I really want to address. So I'm begging you, man. Sincerely, I am begging you, please just stop. I want to stop, and the only way I see to stop is for you to stop. Just don't respond anymore. Just ignore me, okay? Please? Thanks? Yeah, we good? Okay, bye.